Welcome back to the Brooklyn Property Market Update, brought to you, of course, by Engel Volkers Brownstone, Brooklyn. And here I am, Katriona, Kearney, and here you are, Donald Brennan, and welcome to September.
Yeah, here we are, everybody back in action here, so to speak, getting ready for the school year and for some portion of us back to the office. We'll see how that unfolds over the rest of the fall here.
So last week's storm, of course, may well have affected activity because a lot of people weren't necessarily able to get out and about and look at properties. And our luxury numbers certainly reflect that, but they also reflect the reality of heading into a long weekend, it being Labor Day, perhaps.
Yep, so as we know, as we talked about in the past, weekly activity on both the new to market and contract side is slightly diminished leading into any major holiday. We saw that in 4th of July weekend. We saw it back in President's Day weekend. We also saw it in March there near the end when it would be more of a very common spring break period of time for anybody who may have children in the Brooklyn marketplace here. And then, as you mentioned, the weather here was abysmal. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, basically, and setting back quite a few people due to the severity of it. So hopefully everybody's fine there and okay. But certainly a significantly diminished week of new to market activity.
So any notable transactions, though, in the luxury market last week, despite this slowdown?
Yeah, so, over the past month or so, there's been some very interesting luxury assets, townhouses in Brownstone, Brooklyn, actually closing. And I know we're talking about new to market versus in contract here. But we will see this in our third quarter report, which will be out in about a month or so, and actually at the end of September. But yeah, we were participated in a buy side representation on a very interesting, notable transaction of 193, 195 Congress Street, which is a 2-parcel deal of both an existing townhouse at 195 and a lot that is developable at 193. So 50 feet of frontage in prime Brownstone, Brooklyn, in Cobble Hill. Big congrats to our buyers who got this deal done and had the patience to see it through, and really excited about what they have planned here to make this a very special home. So congrats to them.
So let's talk about the almost mirror image data for the below 2.25 million market when you look at last week versus the week before.
Yeah, it's rare that we see kind of almost exact numbers, both on the new to market and contract side. It's kind of like deja vu. I had to look at the numbers twice to make sure we had the data correct. But new to market side, one more deal last week than the previous week, so we had 38 versus 37, but an exact number of in contract deals at 61 the last 2 weeks. So very interesting to see that the in contract side, again, it's very stable at that level, around in the 60s, low 70s. So that's good, good for sellers.
But the new to market average list price seems to be ticking up just a little in this level, perhaps reflective of the speed with which properties in this price range are actually going into contract.
Sure, any seller that's either paying very close attention to the market or is working with a real estate professional who is cluing him into these things would certainly take note of what that looks like, along with what we'll talk about a little bit later as inventory relative to what other competitive assets are on the market for that particular property. As we know, certain price points for certain things, very short periods of time on the market, and certainly would empower a seller and their advisor to think about asking a little more than what the previous deals were getting done at due to that healthy demand.
So let's go back to inventory then. So any words about inventory as we review where we are in the real estate cycle and the season that we hit now, between now and the Thanksgiving holiday?
Yeah, sure thing. So on the luxury side, above 2.25, just about an equal number of properties that were listed year to date have gone into contract. Also, identical number. And over the last 3 months, the speed at which those properties go into contract exceeding the new to market listings by an average 120% over the last 3 months. So strong appetite into late August. We will see how that continues through the fall. And on the below 2.25 side, many more deals going into contract and actually coming on the market year to date for 2021. So that pool of properties is being diminished as time goes by here. As we know, fall, there is a selling season, transaction season here in Brooklyn, not as usually as hardy as what happens in the spring, April, May, June, but we are expecting more listings to come to market. The question will be what number of those are coming and for what property type and neighborhoods, because as we know, everything is different here. So if demand stays the same here, it's going to be a little bit of an inventory crunch for buyers for sure, which is never a great place to be. But obviously it's going to work for sellers indeed if they have less competition and the same number of buyers out there or more buyers looking.
Okay, so that's it from us. Check back in next week for more accurate and informed observations on the Brooklyn property market, and we will see you then. It's bye from me.
Have a great week.